So Donald Glover has upset a lot of people with his, questionable comments, his questions that he was doing to himself in a self-interview and other hot topics. Hey guys, it's Murad Morali. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Back at it again. It is daily and consistent content, guys. Click that button and subscribe, and let's get straight into this video. Sometimes in some videos my lips might be dry, guys. I'm fasting, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get into this video where Donald Glover has, done this interview where he's asking questions to himself. Now, some of the questions are, very weird, and people are wondering why he obviously has done this to himself. And of course, he is being mocked for it all over online. So in part of the interview, he says, "Are you afraid of black women?" And then he said to himself, "Why are you asking me that?" Someone said, "I feel like your relationship to them has played a big part in your narrative." And he says, "I feel like you're using black women to question my blackness." So, the thing about this is he was asking himself these questions. He wrote these questions to himself. It's not as if somebody asked him this and this was his response. He wrote this down. It was himself pretending to be someone else. This is all on his own accord, because it doesn't make any sense. This was a self-interview, and he was sitting there asking questions to himself, and then he was responding. People are really confused about it. Someone said, wait, he interviewed himself, he asked himself this question, didn't give a straight answer, read it back and still published it. Am I understanding this correctly, or what? Someone said, hey, the way he represented black women in that episode from season 1 with his actress, why the F would you do that? I see Donald Glover is getting the business. I was calling for his arrest when he released that ear-bleeding cover of Tamir's classic, So Into You, but you guys were listening. Somebody else tweeted, so people are just annoyed with his, commentary in general. Donald Glover said, "Why do you hate black women?" with obviously, a picture of him and, a Muppet in his hand from the Community, whatever that show was. Donald Glover has given thousands of weird people across the country unrealistic expectations of someday being perceived as cool. For chaos reasons, now I need a black woman to interview Donald Glover since he said he's not afraid of us. So people are just very confused by it. As to why he's done this, why he's asked this question. Very unprovoked behavior. Nobody was asking for it. Donald Glover has got a white wife. Y'all really got to start using black men who date black women as examples, and let us tell y'all, yeah, we would date him. Average black men get bagged every day. This incel talk has got to stop, somebody has tweeted. So, I'm just obviously reading out different people's thoughts online as they react to this news. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, if you guys have heard of this, but of course this happened yesterday, and it's just confused a lot of people. Speaking of confusion, we've got men on podcasts.
Russell and Sierra. Yeah, if Russell ain't had that bread, Sierra ain't gonna be with him. Russell Square.
Again, who are judging people's relationships, and it went viral. People were speaking on Russell Wilson as to why, Sierra is with him, and the only reason is because of his money and the fact that he's of wealth and abundance. And they really were just, breaking down his relationship, chipping away at it, and I thought it was just very rude for them to do.
You losing with that? I put my finger, I said, first of all, with me, you never lose.
Ooh!
I said, second of all, I said, that wallet, that shows consistency. Shows consistency. That's what you're gonna get from me.
Wow.
You're gonna get somebody who's gonna be consistent for you every day.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what
I
gotta
even when your shit old and broke down.
But this is what you have a lot of men on podcasts who sit there and analyze, break down people's relationships for no reason, because it doesn't really involve you, and it's really just, we're here again. This young lady spoke about the word incel, and I do feel like this is another example of this, where we have a lot of men who, think that this is okay to be, where you can disrespect people, break them down, analyze their relationships, break down a woman or a man in a way, and you think that it gives you confidence, and that women need to cater to men in any kind of way, and you should be lucky to have me as a man, and that you must perform these duties for me, whether it be sexually or not, and that I am the breadwinner of the house, but more time you're really you're struggling to bring in $4.99. But because you're on a podcast with your friends, this incel behavior is worrying to me. I spoke about this a couple months ago, but I feel like I've seen it grow extremely high in the last 5 years, where you have a lot of these situations, and these men who are sitting there in these podcasts breaking down these relationships, or talking about why women do what they do, or why these particular men are beta men, and etc., etc. They gain a cult, a following, and it's scary. This alpha male, beta male, theta male, delta male, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't exist. There's no such thing as an alpha male. There's no such thing as a beta male. I know guys people want to believe this because the men who take more in charge are alpha male, or maybe the guy who's beta male is just more introverted because he's been through sad trauma in his life, or that's just how he is because of his genetic trait. Do you know what I mean? I feel like people have made up this alpha and beta male stuff and they have ran with it. And it's very unfortunate. But at the same time, I do think that these incels who are acting like this is very weird, guys. It's very weird behavior, and I wanted to just sit and talk about it. This wasn't even meant to be the second topic of the video. I really wanted to get into the Russell Wilson stuff, but it's just bizarre that you would want to sit there and mock people, and you know, they must cater to you. You know, how dare you not respond to me? How dare you ignore me? As a man, I've responded to you, I've written this message to you, I've given you these options, but yet you have the audacity to not respond to me as quickly as I want. Who do you think you are? You know, I own you. Ownership, ownership, ownership. This is my time. Your time is not valuable. Only my time is. And then when you feel like you're disrespected, you rant in these podcasts, and then you get the following on the cult, and it boosts your ego. Nothing is more fragile in this world, guys, than a man's ego. Nothing is more fragile in this world. Absolutely nothing. So, you know, once you can break that down, you know, they go crazy.
Nicki Minaj, without a shadow of a doubt and without any fear of contradiction, was the rudest little madam I've ever had the displeasure to meet. America's Got Talent, around 2006-07, she turned up as our guest on our show, and my sons were all quite young, all under 12, I think, all wanted to meet Nicki Minaj. No, refused to do it. Rude little madam. Never coming on my show again. Bang.
Anyways, speaking of crazy, Piers Morgan has lashed out at Nicki Minaj, speaking on the fact that, you know, she's been very rude. She never spoke to his children. She neglected when they were on some competition show. And, you know, he mentioned the fact that this happened back in 2006 and 7. But back then, Nicki Minaj was on the streets handing out her mixtapes. She wasn't on a competition show. She wasn't a big artist then. So a lot of the facts that Piers Morgan is trying to make are not aligning with what he's trying to say. And yet again, he's obviously just trying to make an issue out of no reason because it's coming out of nowhere. And this is what these men do. Again, back at it again with the insult talk, guys. it's like a tree. It branches into so much because it links. And the insult talk also relates to this situation because he's made a career out of mocking and degrading women. An example is Meghan Markle. Do you know what I mean? Like, what has she done to you or anyone? In any capacity. And what I hate is people, and this isn't actually a lot of people, it's only a few people, they like to run with the comparison of, you know, oh, but Murad, you do speak on the Kardashians. I speak on how problematic they are, how they're stolen from black and brown individuals, literally, whether it be money, and how many times has Chloe been in lawsuits for the amount of time she's stolen from, you know, young black designers, let alone, you know, their aesthetics and how damage they've done to women and to people on social media and the editing they do, etc., etc., etc. Calling that out and being critical of that, and with the extent amount of transplants or face surgeries they've done, is very different to somebody degrading a woman continuously or a man in a bullying manner. They're not the same thing, and to make them seem like the same thing is the highest form of gaslighting, and it's not going to work. It doesn't work with me. But yeah, the insult talk with Piers Morgan, this is what they do. Because what has Meghan Markle done to you for you to be continuously attacking it every single day? And as back with Nicki, is always him and a girl. Always him and a woman. Incels, guys, they are everywhere. 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 There might be one in your house right now, one in your friendship group, one in your classroom, everywhere. Anyways, this video wasn't actually meant to be this long, but subscribe to the channel, guys. Click that button. It's daily and consistent content. Can you just subscribe, guys? Let's get to 270,000 subscribers. Let's do it, man. Subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys soon for another video.